I'm out here going like, wahoo! And you're like, mm-hmm. And who's going to win the award? You.
I'll put it next to all the other awards I've won. But what I noticed when you were saying, wait, why did that make you do a spit take? Why did that make you laugh? Why is it funny, the idea that I might win awards? Why is that funny to you?
I like your sweater.
I'm wearing today my wife's sweater because
I didn't even know that. I opened with sweater and it bore more fruit than it already has borne more fruit than I anticipated.
Well, there's a good reason for it. First of all, it's an attractive sweater. Second of all, I have been complaining bitterly over the last couple of days about the fact that I'm cold. I'm always cold. The house is cold. Martha is cold to me. And I said, I'm cold. And she said, because you don't have a proper wool sweater. And I said, well, I'm wearing 2 hoodies. She said, they're cotton or polyester. I don't know, some fabric. She says, you got to put on a wool sweater like this one. So she gives me the sweater to put on. I've been wearing it for 2 days. I've never been more comfortable. Terrific.
I like that. Here's a bit about me and my childhood. I, as you know, spent part of my childhood on the west coast of Africa, growing up in the hot heat of Africa.
Sure.
And then in high school, we moved back to Canada. And
the hot heat of Canada.
No, it wasn't the hot heat. We moved to southern Quebec, and fully unprepared for the winters. 5 kids in my family, and my brother and I shared a bedroom. And this is what would ring out in our household. And you know my parents. My mother famously grew up frugal, the daughter of an Italian immigrant, and a household filled with like children down there on Robinson Street in Ontario, Canada, and Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Beautiful place. And so if we got cold in the winter, famously, you would hear the refrain, "Put on an extra sweater." And this is what you would hear all the time. The idea of like notching up the heat a few degrees was just not, it just wasn't a part of the equation. And unless you think that I'm like, oh, suck it up a little bit. My brother and I shared a bedroom. The house was an L-shaped, and underneath the long part of the L, at the end of the L, was our bedroom. And that was not, there was no insulation. And so my brother and I would have 4 inches of white bone ice on the inside of the bank of windows to the exterior. So
on the inside,
4 inches of white bone ice. So you're cold because it's drafty in there. You could go like that and watch your breath cross the room. You would have 4 inches of white bone ice on the inside of the window. Tap, 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 a slight film of like water where it would meet the heat, but that ice was persistent. That is how cold the bedroom is that I slept in my high school years. And if anyone complained, and you wouldn't complain because we're all in this together, but if there was a complaint, it was always like, put on an extra sweater. And people would walk around my house in multiple layers. In the living room, there was a grate where heat came out, fire burning, wood stove, and heat would come out of the grate. And you'd see one of the 5 children just huddled up in front of the gate, just like doing homework, just in front of the grate, working, reading a book, crouched over. And that was just how it was.
This was 1830 what?
Yes, this was 1832 through 1841, I believe.
Okay, well then that makes some sense. But I had no idea that that you had suffered so much as a youngin.
What's nice is when you're a youngin, you don't know, right? You're like, well.
Oh no, I would have known. I would have known that I was in an igloo.
Yeah, it was a shock to me, Michael, when I went to see the Yergeaux, my friend Bruno Yergeaux, because I was in a French high school, and they invited me over, middle of winter, right? So we left our drafty old house, and I went to their place, and Bruno answers the door in shorts and socks, unheard of. I walk into the foyer of their house carpeted and the warmth and understanding that in the winter, this is just how it was in Canada. You put on four layers and you huddled by a grate. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what are they doing? I just assumed that they were like criminals and they were, like a burning energy and soon the cops would come. But it was a lovely afternoon from 1 to 3 hanging at the Airshow house and stunned. They're in t-shirts, shorts. They're running around in their house all warm. And I was like, what is happening?
But that kid probably grew up soft. You know what I mean? That kid
Sure.
grew up soft hands, soft cheeks, going out into the workforce, unprepared, probably sitting in a desk all day, making millions and millions of dollars, moving money around. What a loser.
Whereas I could play, Quint. You got soft hands, Hooper.
That's right.
Soft hands, desk hands. Don't
That's
need
right.
any more of this working man bullshit. Yeah, I could do that. I'm glad that you put on your wife's sweater. Is my point.
Had to.
I
think last week I think I had the flouncy scarf on last week. This week I think I got on my wife's sweater. Next week I may double up and go wife sweater and flouncy scarf, and then we'll just go from there. We'll just keep escalating.
I would love to. Listen, it's frigid in the Northeast these days. Like we've had what they call what the people call, Michael, cold snap. We've had a cold snap. Or here in the Northeast. Michael and I are both in the Northeast these days. He used to be in the great blue state of Georgia. He's moved back up here so he could be closer, I assume, so he could be closer for our podcast, which is Mates. Mike and Tom eat snack. Mike and Tom eat snacks. Mike and Tom eat snacks with my good friend Michael Ian Black.
And my good friend Tom Cavanaugh. But what I am delighted. Okay, I undersold it. Sometimes you undersell. Makes more impact.
Great.
Makes more impact.
Yes, absolutely. That's the secret of acting. That's it, right there.
Just do a little less.
Let them come to you.
That's right.
Yes. I'm out here going like, wow, and you're like, mm-hmm. And who's gonna win the award? You. Yeah.
I'll put it next to all the other awards I've won. But what I noticed when you were saying, wait, why did that make you do a spit take? Why did that make you laugh? Why is it funny, the idea that I might win awards? Why is that funny to you?
I just jack Java all over my podcast
sure
setup. And I mean,
why is that funny? Why is that funny that I might win? Why I don't understand that. Why I might win an award for acting.
Like, imagine the scenario where they call out your name. It's like, and up for best, what's the
actor,
blockbuster
best
movie
actor,
you star
best
in?
actor. How about best actor? How about now for best
know,
actor? Superman is the name of the epic blockbuster.
Superman, the blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
We talked about that recently. You star in Superman. Gunn had to have you, and so it could be like Scarlett Johansson. I'm thinking Idris Elba, the Little Raccoon Guy, and Michael Ian Black from Superman, and the award for best, is it best actor? You're
best, best actor.
And the award for best actor goes to
Michael Ian Black.
Michael Ian Black.
I guess maybe I just don't get the joke. I don't understand what's funny about that.
And then like you walk up.
Right. When you win the award, you walk up. That's right.
That's walk right. Up to accept it.
Yeah. And I walk by Idris and the Raccoon Guy, and for some reason Scarlett Johansson, who's also in my category for best actor. I'm walking by all of them.
Yeah, she's an actor.
Yeah, well, sure. And I'm getting up on stage to accept my award. And I pulled a speech that I've written out of my pocket, because I thought, I'm thinking there's a good chance I'm going to win, so I'm gonna write a speech. And first of all, I want to thank the cast and crew of Superman, without whom I could not have delivered the performance. I want to thank James Gunn for taking a chance on me
Smart.
and giving me this role, welcoming me into the DC universe. I want to thank all my acting teachers, who taught me so much over the years about what it takes to deliver a truly award-winning performance. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not thank the person without whom I could not have done this role. My wife, Martha. Thank you so much for all your love and all your support throughout the years. I can hear the music is playing me off. Anybody who I didn't mention, you know who you are. I love you. Thank you to the Academy. Thank you to everybody. What an honor. I'll see you at Elton John's party.
I mean, I honestly, like, no joke, I don't even know that Martha is clear that you're an actor, and you're gonna go thank her before you thank me.
I said I thank you. I said for anybody else I didn't mention, I thanked you,
buddy. You're gonna have to take a full page thing, a la what's her name and Chad, apologizing. The next day you're gonna be like, well, I don't know what the papers are called, but the Hollywood papers.
Yeah, the Hollywood papers.
You have to take a thing out in the Hollywood papers going, to my dear co-host,
Michael Showalter.
Who's Michael Showalter?
My co-host of Topics, the podcast that I used to do.
That's not a thing.
It used to be. We used to do a podcast together called Topics.
I don't think that guy even, I think he just made that name up. Showalter. Yeah, I want to thank Michael Showalter. Look, you're a great actor, and you're going to win this award because you're underselling this whole process. And in there is a secret. How is it that like the less effort makes you reap more awards? There aren't many professions like that, I don't think. But you're like, I'm going all waka waka waka, and I'm like, notice me.
That's right. Look at me. And
Doesn't
there's
work.
a place. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
It doesn't work, and I should learn from you. So I'm going to pay more rapt attention as we do this hit podcast, because if you're up there, I mean, if you're getting called up against like the raccoon guy and winning, against Scarlett, who's married to a very famous person, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I got to catch up. I think I just gotta I got to pay more attention.
But the thing is, though, this is gonna come out harsher than I mean it, because
okay, good.
You're not
handsome.
No. You're handsome. You're not
smart.
No. God, Tom, come on. You studied biology there in what was it, college?
Yeah. I studied biology, so I guess I am smart. You're right about that.
You're just not in your chosen profession.
Talented.
Actor. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, you're likable. I think you have the capacity to be charming at times. I think people think you're friendly, but what you're not is, again, like, this is going to come off, I think, harsher than I mean. You're not good at acting. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I've noticed the award shows, it feels like it's not a prerequisite, right? So I'm out there giving my all. I've seen the award show winners,
right?
And I'm like, oh, really? Like, there's a lot of that for me. Not that I watch, but when you read it in the papers, I don't know what the papers are, but you read them and you're like, oh, interesting. So that gives me hope. I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I'm kind of
no, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Talent doesn't seem to be it's not a prerequisite. I think you really got to be a looker, right? Who's the guy? Paul, he's in The Running Man.
Giamatti?
He's in
Paul Giamatti,
that guy. I happen to know that he's a good actor, so he's not going to win a lot of awards.
He's won a bunch. He has won a bunch.
Has he?
Yeah, he's won a bunch.
All right. He's the exception to the rule then.
Yeah. Yep.
right? Super talented.
Who are you thinking of? Paul Newman? Because he won a bunch also.
No, it's a new guy. He's in he's in rom-com and Top Gun, and he's all over the place. You know who I'm talking about, Paul. Yeah.
Rudd? Paul Rudd?
Not Paul. Paul Rudd, we love.
Terrific.
He's a friend of the podcast.
Oh,
but
sure.
he's ugly. He's not a good-looking guy. No offense to Paul. Paul knows it.
No, he's a good-looking guy, talented, and I believe has won some awards.
That's my point.
That he has.
That's my
won
point. Right. No, if Paul Rudd is winning awards, I'm like, okay.
Oh, I see.
If he's going to win awards,
then why not you? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
And I guess my only answer to that would be because he's just better.
I'm fascinated.
He's just better.
He's better. Oh, I don't see it. I've watched him. He was in this. I will tell you what. If it was for specific performances, let's
okay.
pick a performance of mine because it's a holiday season.
All
so
right.
let's pick
The
Snow
Flash.
2.
Oh, Snow 2. Great.
Let's pick Snow 2.
Mm-hmm. And I know all the viewers have seen both Snow and Snow 2.
It's like saying Superman.
Of course. But
Everyone
for those
sees
of you, but just in case, why don't you just remind people what Snow and Snow 2 are?
Come on, man. James Gunn did a
apologize.
blockbuster movie called Superman, and Michael is a star and won the Best Acting Award for it. Everybody knows this, right?
I know.
So
I know.
All I'll say about Snow and Snow 2 is that the Christmas movies.
Is this the Johnny Depp, Penelope Cruz Snow?
Everybody makes that mistake. Those hacks. No, this is Ashley Williams and Tom Cavanaugh in a Christmas movie where I play the heir of Santa Claus, Snow and Snow 2. And don't fucking sit there like you don't watch it every day during the holiday season like the planet does.
Right.
All right. I'm trying to be falsely modest, and you're out there going, oh, let's tell the viewers what it is. They know. So my point is, you put any of Paul Rudd's works up against Snow. I'm going to go Snow 2 because Snow 1, I feel like Snow 1, I might have been a little big. But that was only because I thought no one would ever see it. And I thought let's have some fun today. So if I'm doing a scene with reindeer and they've got actual reindeer there, I'm going to make jokes.
Sure you are. Of course you are.
No one's going to see it. And I didn't know it would turn into the blockbuster that it is. Okay, so I will put Snow 2 up against Paul Rudd's canon. Except that movie he did with you, I assume you directed it. I know you starred in it, a Wet Hot American Summer, where I sat in that theater down there in Times Square and watched him do the greatest double take ever known to man. So if it's Snow 2 versus Paul Rudd's double take in Wet Hot American Summer, okay, maybe he gets. Right,
he's gonna win that battle.
But it's for a specific scene. It's not
I
the
understand.
overall performance.
But if we just go, so I'm just gonna knock off a few of his parts, and we'll put them up against Snow 2. So Anchorman,
me,
he gets the nod. Yeah,
listen,
I think he gets
if it's Steve Carell.
Oh, Carell was fantastic.
If it's Christina Applegate,
terrific,
gets a nod. If it's Rudd, who's just out there playing kind of that's me. Snow 2 versus his performance in Anchorman. Give me a break.
No. Yeah, I know.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay. All right. So he gets a nod there. But then, one. All right, 40-Year-Old Virgin, which he's also in, I think, with Carell.
Tough. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
What I like about him in that is he's more the straight man. He's very funny, very dry. Yep. Oh, I got dogs. Very charming. Good. And then when I compared that to your performance in Snow 2,
I feel like it's me.
Yeah, I definitely I'm gonna go Paul on that one. So let's go. What about Clueless?
I haven't seen Snow 2, but I know that I go through a mirror to the North Pole.
Oh, you go through a mirror.
I mean,
all right.
I feel like this is unfair. I feel like that's unfair of me to.
That does.
to say that.
in any if it were anybody else, I'd be like, oh, he goes through a mirror. Well, you got to give him the nod. But if we're talking specifically you versus Paul, and you go through a mirror, I'm going to give that nod to Paul.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to give that one to Paul, I think.
Maybe you didn't hear. I'll explain it. You didn't hear the second part of the sentence. I go through the mirror to the North Pole.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Paul, I think. I think I'm going to give the nod to Paul on that one. Now, he's got that movie. He's got that movie Anaconda coming out with Jack Black, Steve Zahn.
Right. So here we go, right?
Yeah.
I think if you go Anchorman, 40-year-old virgin versus Snow 2, that's me. And frankly, I feel like a lot of people watching this, I don't even know if they are watching it. Those people, they'll be like, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
Anaconda scares me because they did a J-Lo Anaconda back in the day. And, I felt, even back then, I felt like, ooh, high bar. And hopefully I'll get a Christmas movie, right? Because there's a goodwill that comes along with a Christmas movie. So I felt like I got Snow. The Anaconda still takes the nod. Then I got Snow 2, and I thought, now we're in the discussion. But between you and me,
mm-hmm.
I've been hopeful for the last 20 years that people don't make a side-to-side comparison. In my heart, giant snake, right? And the dogs don't like the giant snakes. People don't like the giant snakes. The giant snakes are super terrifying. Now, when people are sitting down going like, what? Given our digital capacity and our technical improvements in 2025, 26, what movie should we remake? And you think Gone with the Wind, It's a Wonderful Life, Citizen Kane, what movie? Saving Private Ryan even? Like what, with all the technical and digital advancements, what movie? And they hit the nail on the head, frankly, Anaconda. And so I feel comfortable in my head-to-head versus Paul Rudd, but I can tell you, Magic, if Anaconda's in the mix, even against Snow 2, I feel it feels difficult. It feels like a difficult, it feels something to surmount there. And again, have I seen it? No. But what do I know about it? I know Jack Black. I know Paul Rudd. I know Giant Snake.
Yeah. That conversation is over.
Yeah, I feel like, right?
That conversation's over.
And you should be grateful that you won your Superman award.
I'm excited
before Paul Rudd released Anaconda. You should be grateful that you've already got that on the mantelpiece.
Oh no, I know. No, when I talked to Jim about release dates, he was
Jim
Gunn, yeah. When I was talking to Jim about release dates, I was saying, I think we should aim for Christmas or Christmas 2025 or early 2026 because you want to get the holiday people, you want to get the CGI like perfect, like you don't want to rush anything. What if there's reshoots, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He says, I can't. We got the Anaconda reboot coming out, and that's just going to suck up all the air in the room. And I was like, who's in it?
That's what I said. That's why they have focus groups.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Apparently, I said, who's in it? He says you might want to sit down for this.
Uh-oh.
I says,
and that's great because that's how he likes you. Sitting down, not moving, stationary mark, easy camera target. So that's good.
I'm not doing any bananas.
You're
I'm
not
just
bananing.
That's right. And he says, you might want to sit down for this. I said, don't tell me. He says, yep. I said, all right, I better submit my awards right now. And he says, yeah, because Rudd's gonna clean up. And not to come out.
Yeah.
I said, all right. So
well, deservedly so.
That's the story of it. But we got to get to today's snack. I mean, this one to me is a snack that, frankly, I'm surprised we haven't done before because it's a classic.
And we're sure we haven't, right?
Yeah, we haven't done it. We definitely haven't done it.
If Amaya, our producer, tells us that we haven't done it, I'm going to believe we haven't done it.
Yeah, we have not done this one. And more to the point, I don't think I've ever eaten this snack. We've had it in the house before.
What?
I know we've had it in the house, but I've never had it because it's specifically designed for children. That is a clue. It's for children. And in fact, the word children is in the name. In fact, the name is children, but in a different
Yeah, it
language.
is.
In a different
Now you
language.
have given it away.
Now, Tom's giving you the final clue because if you haven't figured out that today, we're going to be sampling Kinder chocolate eggs.
Chocolate eggs. Oh, Kinder chocolate egg. You gotta have the Kinder chocolate eggs. You gotta have the Kinder chocolate eggs for the holidays. Kinder chocolate eggs for the holidays. Kinder chocolate eggs for the holidays.
Hitting the ground. My question is, and I think you already answered this, but my question is Kinder specifically a holiday treat? Because I feel like you eat these all year round in Europe. I feel like they eat bread and jam for breakfast and Kinder eggs the rest of the day.
If you're in Western Europe, they will also take a siesta and have tapas. But then the rest of it is what you said is what they do in Europe.
I see. So in Western Europe, there's bread and jam, Kinder eggs, and tapas. And then in Eastern Europe, I assume it's bread and jam with sprinkles and then Kinder eggs. Is that right?
And in Eastern Europe, hard alcohol. And in Western Europe, after 4 p.m., vino. Wine. Du vin, s'il te plaît.
I love it.
That's just those are your basic differences between Eastern and Western Bloc countries, if you're interested.
And I knew that, but I think some of the viewers, and whether or not they were viewers, I don't know. I don't think they knew it. And so I want to thank you. Just like I've seen every frame of Snow and Snow 2, I just wanted to make sure that the viewers knew about Snow and Snow 2. The reason I think I've never had the Kinder egg is because whenever we had it in the house, it was always specifically purchased for the children because as you probably are aware, the Kinder egg allegedly has some sort of toy inside, like a Cracker Jack.
I mean, this is amazing to me. So wow, this is great. It's great to do a snack podcast because you just get knocked around with things you didn't expect, because snacking is gathering is sharing, and sharing is always going to mean there's some surprise comes out. And the Kinder egg has in giant letters on the packaging, it says surprise, Kinder egg surprise, because there's of course that famously there's a surprise inside. And I'm amazed that you have not ever experienced this, because you've got a bunch of children, and I assume like there's got to be some chocolate lying around at the end of whatever celebratory day it is, and then you're all right. Well, I'm just going to dig into this, and the truth will unfold for you. And you haven't had that experience, which is phenomenal. Because for your inauguration to the Kinder egg surprise, it's going to happen right here on Nate's.
I'm excited to try it. I've always wanted to. You know, I've always eyed it very enviously. But what am I going to do? Take chocolate out of the mouths of babes? I would not do that. And so I've always just sort of studied it from afar. You know, a little rivulet of dribble coming out of the corner of my mouth.
If you're going to take chocolate out, it's really the babes are the ones to do it, to remove the chocolate from the babes. You know, they're not going to fight back. They're not going to scream. They're not going to run to the parents.
In these,
that's where that sentence comes from.
I call them women, because I feel like it's sexist.
Interesting
to call them babes.
So how do you say it?
Stealing candy from the mouths of women.
Mm-hmm. Look. This isn't, in case people are confused about the thematic on this show, what we do is we pick a snack. We operate by the PER system. We pick a snack.
Eat a snack.
We eat the snack. We rate the snack.
We rate the snack.
The PER system.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Right. But it is in no way what we're about.
No, in no way, shape, or form is it what we're about.
No. What we're about, respect for women. And so what we want to do is make sure that when Michael talks about stealing chocolate, he's not doing it out of a lack of respect.
No, entirely.
No.
It originates from a place of respect, because if I were in any way, shape, or form a sexist or misogynist, I would treat women as less than, meaning I wouldn't bother trying to steal their candy, right? Because
Right,
where's the challenge? What's the challenge?
right.
It would be like stealing candy from a baby, right? I wouldn't do
Correct.
that.
You wouldn't do that. If you were those things, you'd run for office. Our Kinder Surprise egg is wrapped in this kind of foil that I've always found super easily removable.
It's a great
which
foil.
is which is a good thing, because it does seem like it keeps the freshness inside, but it's a vertical kind of foil, and you just kind of like, my experience is, well, now it's not working as well as I thought. Yeah, you just kind of unpeel it, and it comes apart like this in twos. I wonder if that's purposeful. I think it is, so you can like then leave your chocolate egg in a kind of a foil nest if you don't want to demolish it all at once.
Here's the first surprise. I didn't realize that the foil opened like that along the equator of the egg.
Yes.
I didn't really think about how it opened. I guess I thought it was just a single piece of foil that you had to unpeel, but no, there's a perforation around the equator there. You peel it off, and then you got half an egg, all ready to go.
Yeah.
And then now
that's
my
your
egg,
Eastern Bloc engineering, or your. I'm not even. I assume. Where's it made? Does it say?
I know that mine had all kinds of acrylic characters on the back.
Yeah. Oh, it really does.
There's characters in, not acrylic. Is that what acrylic? Cyrillic. That's the word I'm looking for, right? Cyrillic?
Cyrillic is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really see. They use the English on surprise, but then they're like, that's it for English.
Poland, I think, is where this is coming from.
Really, then?
On the back of mine, it does say Polska, and it says,
oh, okay.
It says Warszawa, Polonia. That would be Warsaw, Poland. I don't know if all Kinder eggs are made in Warsaw. It's hard for me to say because the lettering is all in Cyrillic.
Where do you have that? Bottom, top? I'm trying to track that.
It's
down
on the back, and it's next to the barcode. And then if you look, there's a paragraph that begins with Atavaska, NR17, and then on the bottom there it says Polska, Warsawa, Polonia.
You got great eyes.
I do.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Geez, that's small. Yeah. Well, good. I wonder if it's like, are they all made there? Because
that was my question. I don't know. I really don't know.
Then you start saying to yourself, if you've got one life to live and you want to pull off, your one life's great heist, then you have to start thinking about, what place do I want to knock off? Recently you and I, we had designs on the Louvre, and then these guys,
boy,
these
was
guys
that
put
aggravating.
they put a garbage truck, like a furniture truck stair up to the second floor of the Louvre, the world's most famous museum, went in, smashed a window, smashed. It wasn't even like in the middle of the night. When was it, Magic? Half an hour after they opened. They're like, shall we? Yes, let's. Up in full view of everyone, up a furniture moving ladder, which in fairness is a common sight in Paris, because they got all those Julia balconies, and they have to move the furniture up through those balconies. So, but this is the Louvre. And so they've got the furniture truck and they've got the stairwell going up to the window. And then I'm like, oh, they must have had some secret kind of like, where just some guy goes, and the window just kind of, but no, they smash it. They go in and they smash through cases and they steal jewels. And then they drop a crown, from antiquity on the floor as they're escaping, worth like $1 billion. So like, Rob, where's the Queen's crown? It's like, yeah, poof, bit of a rush. So, but they still made off with like $1 billion, only with like 3 items kind of thing that they just smashed and grabbed. And here's the other thing. I thought, okay, I've seen the movies. They do that. Alarms are going off. They put it in their thing and they walk out with the crowd. That is what you'd expect would happen with a master thief ripping off $1 billion of jewels from the Louvre. What did they do? They went back down the ladder. They got on a scooter with their buds and away they went. And the Louvre police was like, yes, we are looking at the video. And then the head of the Louvre was like, the video was pointing in the wrong direction. Not true, but that was her excuse, which I thought pretty good. She was like, well, why can't you? I was like, well, yes, the camera was the wrong way. So what you're going to do? What you're going to do with your most famous muse? So you and I were super bummed when we read that.
So bummed. Right? Because we had been planning a Louvre heist for months. And we
without
had
any smashing.
Oh, we got one of those harnesses that you put on to descend from the roof, and it stops you about 6 inches from when you hit it. We invested in like a mister, like a plant mister, so we could spray, and so we could see where the laser lines were. We invest. We invested in dance shoes to keep our feet as quiet as possible.
We had polymer masks
Oh, we had
imitating
so,
the
oh
features of the
yes,
guards and the museum president. You know,
yes.
and that cost us a freaking fortune. If you wonder why Michael and I are still doing this podcast, it's like we need the money.
Yeah.
You know, that thing to us was like, I remember you going, you did the James Gunn. You're like, sit down. And I was like, we've gone through it. I'm not going to give away certain things, but you were like, I'm like, don't tell me it's the XYZ. You're like, it's not, it's the A1. I'm like, not the Louvre. And I'm like, how did they do it? Did they make an imitation Louvre? I thought maybe they made an imitation Louvre and then shifted everything over like, 200 yards. You're like, smash and grab. I'm like, no, no, no,
Never gonna work.
no.
Worked. So aggravating. Speaking of smash and grab, my Kinder Egg is smashed. I'll be honest. It came apart. I've got it in two halves here, and one of the things that surprised me right away is the outside of the Kinder Egg is milk chocolatey, but the inside is white chocolate. Two different
Yeah.
chocolates, which I didn't know.
Sure. Did you get your little package on the inside then?
I get my what?
A package, your surprise, the famous, you got your package on the inside of your Kinder Egg.
Oh yeah. Oh, you call it a package? It's a package?
No, well, your surprise, your treat.
Yeah,
your
no,
gift.
I got
guess
it.
maybe that was the wrong descriptive.
But I love it because it does kind of resemble a package. Like I got this thing out. I'm like, what the hell is this? It looks like it looks like the kind of thing that I imagine if you're a heroin mule that you swallow to hide your heroin in your intestines, so you can get past customs. Because it's kind of an orangey yellow. What would you even call this? A container? Package. I'm calling it a package.
Yeah, it's a little package. It's almost like it's like if you had a mini parachute, and you needed to just pop that thing when you're popping out of the Louvre, for example.
Oh, it
It's
does
like a
pop
little
out.
mini.
Did you hear that? That's
Yeah,
a
of course.
great pop. I don't know.
I
I've
love
never
this.
had it.
No, you've never had it, which is amazing, right?
Ooh,
You
and then
kinda
I
squeeze
didn't.
it.
I didn't expect that the toy inside would be quite as fun as my little mini Iron Man. I've got a little mini Iron Man, and he has some accessories. He's got a what looks like some sort of halyard, some sort of sword, and he's got
Mhm.
some, because I'm Iron Man and his swords, and then he's
Mhm.
got a blue thing. He's also got a blue thing, and then you've got, is that like Lilo and Stitch? Is that what that is?
I think
Yeah.
I've got 5 things for it, but I'm just not assembling it right now.
Whoa! It also comes with a sticker, and it comes with what appear to be instructions. It's a stand that Iron Man is on, and I can attach it, and then the blue thing is a pedestal for the stand. If I was a kid, I'd be thrilled with this.
Yeah, that's why Kinder Eggs are such a great gift and have stood the test of time, because people are like, I'm thrilled with this. My kids are thrilled with this. It's chocolate and a gift,
I
all
mean,
in something you can hold in the palm of your hand. Pretty good concept, Kinder Egg. Well
very,
done.
very good. You're
And
not going to do much better. And I'm going to sample
you're
the egg.
not,
I haven't sampled it yet.
yeah, I was about to say, you need to sample the thing, because the mix of the white chocolate and the dark chocolate is sort of that's a tour de force for them. Like whatever recipe this is that makes this chocolate it's a higher grade, a more expensive area of town, if you will. The Kinder Egg chocolate.
The chocolate exactly meets my expectations, which is to say, I didn't think it was going to be great chocolate. It's not, but but it's better than you might get. I feel like the chocolate's slightly elevated above that. It's slightly better than what they could have gotten away with, I feel like.
Yeah, you're right. You turn a corner and you're into like, oh, these houses are a little more secure and well built. They're not mansions, but it's a nicer area of town. I, as you know, adore. I'm a big fan of white chocolate. I just like it, and you almost never get it when are you getting white chocolate. You know, you actually got to go procure it. It's just a tough get.
Yeah.
Because you're most of the time, if you're gonna pick up chocolate, you're gonna pick up chocolate. You're not gonna be like, well, I have $1 to spend. I could get white chocolate, which I like, but I'm just gonna get chocolate, right? And so the fact that there's a meeting of the minds here with the milk and the white chocolate, it's delightful to me.
I mean, this to me, this thing, this Kinder Egg. I know it's been around a long time. I know it's got a terrific reputation. I know my kids enjoy it, but there's a lot of ways this thing could have gone wrong. You know, the toy might be crap. The container for it might not have that terrific pop that it's got. The foil wrapper might be difficult to peel, and it might adhere to the chocolate and the egg. The chocolate itself might have been waxing back.
Well, I think they have gone through, and I'm speaking through my hat, but I think they have in recent years gone through their biblical trials with this, Michael. It is, we're going to get to ratings in a minute. There's a lot of things to unpack here, but I believe that in the last little while, and you're quicker on the keyboard than I am, they had to recall stuff. They had to change their what they put in, or I can't remember the drama, but I do know that Kinder eggs are like, oh, like you can kill a kid with a Kinder egg because of these small pieces.
All right,
so on and so forth.
I've got some information about this. There was a Kinder Egg recall, large global event in April of 2022 due to a salmonella outbreak linked to a Belgian factory, not Polish, Belgian, and it did affect Kinder Surprise mini eggs, Chocobons, and other chocolates. So, yeah.
So it was just poison. It wasn't, they weren't killing people with the toys.
No, they were just poisoning them with bacteria. So it's fine.
That's gonna happen. Yeah. That's strike one. You're not out of the game.
No.
You're not like,
no, you walked up to the plate. You said, you know what? I'm just going to take the first pitch because I got to see this. I got to see what this guy's heat looks like.
Yeah,
so that he took the first pitch, it went right down the middle of the plate. All right, now he sees it. Hey, it's salmonella. Yep. Okay. All right. So now I adjust. Now I choke up on the bat a little bit, Now I make my adjustments. Right. That's all.
Is he going to throw poison twice? Hey, all right. I'm ready. I can adjust. Right. I've seen it. Right. I've seen it. Yeah. So they're fine.
They're fine.
Kinder eggs. They're fine. Ratings?
Absolutely, ratings. I want to start this time, because it's a new thing for me, the Kinder Egg. Obviously, I've been aware of it. I've driven through the neighborhood a lot of times, circled around, looked at the houses, say, hey, yeah, that looks pretty cute. See, I've seen sometimes the houses are for sale. You go, hey, do I want to call the real estate agent? I don't know. Do I want to take a tour? I'm just going to looky-loo here. I'm not going to bother. But then you park the car, you get out, you knock on the door, you say, hey, is anybody home? They say, come on in. We got a surprise for you. What's the surprise, Kinder Egg? The surprise is this is actually a very good snack, particularly when you put in the context of it's aimed at children. This is a children's delight. Here's something else that we didn't talk about that I'm going to mention. I like the thinness of the egg. It's a big egg, but it's thin, which creates a new texture, new flavors. And additionally, it's not going to fill you up. It's a snack. It's not like a chunky bar. You go through a chunky bar. At the end of that, you got to take a nap. You take a Kinder Egg, you eat this thing. By the end of it, you're ready to run a half marathon.
Half marathon,
not a full. I mean, you're not eating a chunky bar. The foil, the packaging, everything terrific. The toy, as good as you're going to get. I feel like in this category of in this price point, let's say. The chocolate itself, totally fine. This is not something I, as an adult, would necessarily reach for in the great snack aisle of life. But if somebody handed to me one at a party and said, hey, have a Kinder Egg, I'm not complaining. Kinder Egg, surprise, 6.5.
It's a tough rate because it brings so many things to the table. Like oftentimes we're like, all right, we're just faced with like, what's our consumptive grade? What are we what are we consuming and what does that merit, right? And this thing, it's one of those snacks that has a different level to it, because it's like bubble gum with a baseball card. You're like, yeah, I like the gum, and
Did you hear that? This thing's
the
just
smell-
fun to pop. It's just fun to pop. All on its
yeah,
own.
the parachute.
Terrific.
Yeah, parachute's great. And so, there you go. You bring up an ancillary benefit to getting a Kinder Egg. You got something you can pop, right? So that's like, I like that too. I like, what am I going to get? Everybody always likes opening a gift. Everybody on the planet enjoys getting a gift. It's like you're paying for the chocolate and then you get a free gift. And that's a lovely concept. The difficulty when it comes to rating is like, well, what's the snack, right? And so you can't really separate those two things, because that is the ethos of the Kinder Egg. It's like, if you just wanted chocolate, you'd get a Dairy Milk, or you get a white chocolate if that's all you wanted. But you want the Kinder Egg experience, and Kinder Egg has carved a niche for itself. That it's like, this is what we do. You guys can also have chocolate. You guys can have gifts. We're going to do both. And by the way, we're not skimping on either. Are they the most hoity-toity neighborhood? Of course not. It's an egg you can hold on your hand. But that chocolate is good chocolate. Me personally, I love the milk and the white chocolate combined. I like anyone else. I like opening the gift. You mentioned, and I will echo that, I don't know that I have ever reached for a Kinder Egg for myself. In other words, in the great snack aisle of life, I would never be like, I'm gonna get some Kinder Eggs and consume some Kinder Eggs and see what I get. I need them given to me. On the other hand, and this is the complement to that, is I have and will continue to purchase Kinder Eggs for little ones. Okay, and so there's value there, and I think when I rate it, I need to approach it as straight as I can be, and understand that it's not always about the selfishness. Sometimes it's about the selfishness. So Kinder Egg surprise 7.
See you next week.
I'll see you next week.